Now the Department of Transportation says it will have to take drastic measures, cutting flights at dozens of the nation's busiest airports. That begins tomorrow, including MSP.
And this comes as the number of air traffic controllers calling into work continues to rise. Fox's Chelsea Torres is live in Charlotte at one of the airports impacted by this. So Chelsea, we are heading into the weekend. I'm sure a lot of people have flights booked. What should travelers know tonight?
Sure. Well, let's start out with why this is even happening and actually what it is. So the FAA did say that they're going to gradually start cutting 10% of total flights across all of these 40 airports. And starting tomorrow, it's going to be 4%, and then they'll gradually work up to 10% until next week. So a lot of the travelers that I've been talking to, they say we don't even know what to expect, especially people that are leaving today and having to come back next week. And what's really interesting also is that for a lot of these airports and a lot of these airlines, I mean, the reason why this is happening is because of those air traffic controllers. A lot of them still have not been getting paid. They're having to take side jobs. They're having to call in sick to work. And so a lot of the officials, the FAA officials, are saying, we looked at the data and this is going to make sense. The good news is a lot of these airlines have already said a majority of flights should still be as scheduled, but United already says that they had to make changes already for this weekend, and those impacts are already on some of those regional airports.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Chelsea. I know that we've been watching it here at MSP and the Twin Cities in general. We've seen literally thousands of sort of alterations in flights today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, even as of right now, FlightAware has well over 4,000 delays last I checked, and that number could have risen since, because that number has been rising since this morning. But when we talk about the impacts for tomorrow, since we know this is taking effect tomorrow, there's already over 400 cancellations starting tomorrow. And Randy, that's more than yesterday and today combined. So those are already the impacts and the effects that we're seeing. As for what that can mean moving forward, United Airlines said that if you have a flight with them, check your app. It's possible if you're going in and out of a regional airport, your flight may have already been rebooked. But fortunately for a lot of these big airlines like Delta, United, American, they say that even if your flight is not impacted, you can get a full refund with no penalties.
Chelsea, you mentioned FlightAware. Our producer just told us the update. That number sits at about 5,500 right now. We've been watching it the last couple of hours or so, just consistently increasing. What are some of the government officials saying about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because, again, they said that they looked at the data, and this is Department of Transportation and FAA officials. They said they looked at the data, again, with a lot of these air traffic controllers calling in sick because they're not getting paid. How are they supposed to pay their bills if they don't have a paycheck coming in? So they understand what's going on. They're hoping that a lot of these air traffic controllers are coming into work, but if they can't, they have to make these changes and go through these drastic measures. Now, the big thing is, if this continues, if the shutdown continues, if these changes with the reduction does not make much of a difference, they said they will have to add additional measures. But again, we'll have to see what the 10% actually does and if it's something that will eventually help a lot of these travelers and a lot of these airports.
Speaking of travelers, Chelsea, I know there's some right there behind you. What are they saying about all this?
A lot of people just say that they don't know what to expect. They have absolutely no idea what to anticipate. A lot of people tell me they're happy they're not flying tomorrow, but some people did say that they're flying in overnight, and so they're just afraid that they'll come into their airport, you know, at midnight or 1 a.m. and maybe it's shut down. You know, these are just the big ideas that people are coming up with that they're telling me, and so it's one of those things where I think people are just very uncertain and they don't know what to do. Even the Frontier CEO has said that if you had a flight booked with us, you should probably book a backup flight on a different airline. So that's already going through a lot of people's minds of what to do, especially as Thanksgiving travel comes up.
Yeah, it's the unknown, and hopefully we don't have to make it to that point of getting to Thanksgiving, because boy, do we know that that would be a nightmare with so many people trying to travel. Chelsea Torres reporting live in North Carolina tonight. Thank you, Chelsea.